Class is in session, baby, and today we are talking about the Mystical Archive. What are the cards going to be? Most of them are going to be uncommon, so we're going to go over some realistic picks. Then we're going to get into some of the rares and the mythics that we hope show up.
Let's check out our predictions for Mystical Archives. What's going to be the chase card? What's going to be our prediction for the chase card? You're going to have to stick around to find out. Video starts right now. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. Strixhaven Mystical Archive. That's what we're talking about in this video. Our predictions, at least. But before we do get into that, if you would, go down there, hit that like button by the end of the video if you like the video, and hit that dislike button if you don't.
And if you are a fan of Jake and Joel Are Magic, click subscribe. If this is your second video, go ahead and do it. What you need to know about the Mystical Archive before we take a look at the cards that are on our predictions: most of these cards are going to be uncommon. Don't expect Wizards of the Coast to jam-pack an absolute crap ton of value into this Mystical Archive slot.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, let's get into it.
Let's look at what we think will be in this set. So first up, we chose a card that represents the colors of each school at Strixhaven. Each college, I guess, is what they're called. These are pretty common cards. You're going to know all 5 of these. Lightning Helix to represent our new Boros place. We've got Electrolyze, which is going to represent Prismari. Lorehold is the Boros one. Sorry, I couldn't think of that for a second. We've got Mortify representing our Silverquill Ink.
Yeah, Silverquill is right. Yep.
And then we picked Putrefy to show up for Witherbloom. I still want to say Golgari for this. So Jake, this is probably for a lot of this.
Again. You forgot Simic again, like in the last video. It's a theme. You have to do it every time now.
I forget the Simic College. That's how tired I am of Simic cards. Void Slime to represent Quandrix at Strixhaven. Jake, I think that these are what the vast majority of our Mystical Archive is going to be like.
Yeah, and Void Slime, the most expensive card out of all of these, Electrolyze, Putrefy, Lightning Helix, Mortify. These cards are always popping up in Commander products. They're great go-to cards. Electrolyze is one of my favorite cards at cantrips. Lightning Helix. All of these cards are very iconic throughout MTG's history, and it just makes sense to put them into the Mystical Archive, give them their own kind of new updated art treatment. It makes people feel like they're getting a good card. And also, these cards are very good for limited play as well. They represent good versatility. Again, a couple of them cantrip. Yeah, they just have a nice spread of what they can do, and they do represent the guilds, like Joel said, or the colleges of Strixhaven, and they don't represent a ton of monetary value. Void Slime was just reprinted in Secret Lair Slime, but another reprint here would be fine, like move the price of this card down a little bit more. Maybe it's not Void Slime, maybe it ends up becoming, I don't know, like a Neo form or something else.
Yeah, this is where the vast majority of it's going to live. It's going to be Opt, like we've already seen. It's going to be, classic cards that are commons and not super expensive in these cool treatments. So what we really wanted to do was look into the chase cards. What cards are due for a reprint right now, and where do we realistically think these are going to fall? Jake, we'll just kind of shoot through these first ones because this is going to be a ridiculous amount of value if they put some of these in here. We pulled 3 in particular. Imperial Seal, which Jake covered earlier in the year and we know is due for a reprint. That's one of the last big tutors that is completely driven by scarcity. Force of Will, just because Force of Will.
Chase card.
And then Force of Negation, which we only saw in Modern Horizons, and this card has really gotten up there in price. I really think that what we're going to see is like Demonic Tutor. We're going to see a $20 or $30 or $40 card that's maybe a rare, upshifted to mythic, and that's going to be your quote-unquote chase card in this Mystical Archive set.
Because Demonic is heat, right? I mean, Demonic is already just absolute gas as far as the Mystical Archive slot goes, right?
And that can be in any random $3 booster pack. I just want to hit that again. These are going to be everywhere. These are not like expeditions or chase, will we pull one in this half of the box? You're going to get one in every pack. And so I just don't feel like they can pump a ton of value in there. Let's look at some other cards though. What other instants and sorceries? Obviously we focus more on Commander playable, are in need of reprints right now, and we'll shoot through these. Jake, I think that the tutor cycle that are all around $20 to $30 to $40 really fit with the theme of this set. Enlightened Tutor going to get artifacts and enchantments, Personal Tutor looking for sorceries, Cruel Tutor searching your deck for any card, losing 2, and you put it on top, all at sorcery speed.
Yeah, lots of very good cards here. Cruel Tutor is the one at sorcery speed, right? And then the other 2 should be instants, right?
Yeah,
Enlightened and
no, Personal Tutor's a sorcery looking for a sorcery.
Yeah, I think that these are all very good, very powerful effects that are all extremely useful in Commander. People are always looking for reprints of these cards. I think the last time we had an Enlightened Tutor reprint would have been the List, but it's very hard to even call the List a reprint. Enlightened Tutor the last time before that, like you see in this card, was Eternal Masters. So yeah, very desperate reprints here, and these are all rare. So maybe it's going to be like, let's say the Mystical Archive is 80% or 75% uncommon, and then 15% rare, and then 10% mythic, something like that. Yeah, these would definitely be in those rare slots. And I do think tutors are very good. You know, we have maybe Gamble shows up. Gamble isn't on this list, but that's the red tutor. Maybe we see something like that to represent maybe like the Prismari side or something like that. But yeah, very good targets here that, again, do need reprints.
Sylvan Tudor here, just like the rest of them, I really think it fits with the school theme, right? And so, you know, this could be a good way for them to reprint these in a non-standard way without them taking slots of a, you know, premium reprint product, and really have it sort of fit the theme. Jake, Tainted Pact, this is a CEDH card that needs a reprint.
Yeah, very big card here. This is a one printing ever card, so this card very much needs a reprint. It's one of those cards that's very niche, and you don't really want it in your hand in limited. It's a very specific effect that you want, so it's pretty much a dud if you pull it, but it does represent good financial value, and you will be able to trade lots of things for it, as there are players that are racing to the bottom in CEDH, and that's one of the best ways to do it. Yeah, Final Fortune here, 2 red. Take an extra turn after this one. At the end of the turn, you lose the game. This is one of those cards that, again, is very scarce, and in EDH, taking turns, it's a very popular card, and it continues to go up in price for that specific reason. It is scarce.
It got a lot of pump from the Obeka deck that came out with our Commander Legends, and
That's
so
right.
This is the kind of card that, you know, will just continue to creep up in value until it's reprinted. So this would be a good instant to do. I think that there's a nice cycle of cards with these Kindred cards from Commander 2017. There's 3 of them that are instants or sorceries. The other 2 are enchantments. Kindred Summons, sort of, we wanted to represent green a little harder on the list, because a lot of these instants and sorceries that are really due for reprints are in blue and black in particular. But Kindred, I think, has a lot to do with the tribal theme that they seem to have been really pushing over the last few months, and we know will be pushed at least through the Dungeons and Dragons set. And so it would make sense to me for, in this year in particular, for them to do a reprint of some of the tribal cards that are getting up into the $30 range, like Kindred Summons, just because it was printed once in a Commander product in 2017 and never printed again. So this, I think, the Kindred cards in particular, Kindred Summons, and then there's a Kindred Board Wipe, the black one that's choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't that type. Those 2 in particular, I think, would be fantastic to see in this set.
Yeah, and also remember, before we talk about Patriarch's Bidding here, that a lot of the prices of these cards will go down when the set comes out. So it will be an initial, there will be a lot of reprint equity from a pre-sale standpoint that will be mental, like kind of FOMO thing, where people are going to see that and think, oh, there's more value here than there actually is. Then when the set comes out, these cards go into circulation, the price of these cards goes down, and that's good for the game, that's good for the players. Patriarch's Bidding, yeah, very good card. Another card that's a big tribal hit. I used to play this in Wart. It'd get all my gobos back on the battlefield. Very strong card, and again, maybe like falls into like the Silver Quill, or whoever is like the equivalent of, I don't know, Slytherin of this group. Yeah. Maybe it's one of the forbidden spells that brings back all of the dead.
We know from the Silver Quill command that returning creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield is already associated with that school, And you could have at Silverquill, at Strixhaven, a patriarch. It doesn't necessarily have to refer to the head of the Cabal from Odyssey's story. So I think I could see this again along the same lines as the Kindred Cycle reprints. I think that Tribal is a huge thing this year, and so them pumping more love into that is very likely going to happen. And then Steelshaper's Gift. This is a card that I was shocked was not reprinted in the Wylith Commander Precon. It seemed like the perfect time to do that. This is an uncommon that has gotten a jacked up price due to our favorite word on the channel, scarcity, and it needs a reprint for EDH.
Yeah, it's one printing ever, right?
Yes.
It's, if I recall
correctly,
correctly,
deck,
like a $25 to $30 card at this point. So
right, white sorcery.
Yeah, exactly. One white sorcery speed, very mana efficient. Go grab an equipment, reveal it, put it in your hand. When you need that sword in the moment right there, just think that's only a 6 mana commitment on the field to tutor it up, play it, equip it. Let's go. So yeah, very good card. Definitely needs a reprint. And again, it's an equipment centric sorcery, and we haven't really talked about any of those yet. So I'm sure there will be something on the list that has something to do with equipment. Those are our picks. What do you think needed to be on this list that isn't? We're just speculating here. Do we think that Electrolyze and Mortify are probably going to show up in the Mystical Archive? Yes. But is Force of Will, is Force of Negation and Imperial Seal? I don't know. It's a pot shot. But what do you think we missed? We want to hear about it in the comments. There's a lot of hype around this set. We are definitely excited about it, and so is our Discord. Again, check out the Patreon if you're interested in being part of the channel on a deeper level.
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on a deeper level. Ooh.
On a deeper level.
Do you want to know us on a deeper level?
We do kind of talk in there a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we do talk in there. I guess it would be a deeper level.
It's a deeper level. It's like shallow pool, but it is a deeper level.
That is true. Join our Discord. Link is in the description below. Bye.